Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz,
And entrepreneur here, Breezy Gipson.
and we're glad that you've tuned in to join us. We've got another show lined up for you that we just know you're gonna love. We've got music industry news, beats by yours truly, and our special guest Christen Eve is coming up to join us. Hey, we've got Christen Eve on Christmas Eve. How about that?
How about that, man? Couldn't have been a better combination than that.
Yeah. So, yeah, without any further ado, we want to give this show to you. So, let's go ahead and get it going. What do you say?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, let's go. music industry news, sound royalties business has nearly doubled. This is pretty cool because their volumes of fundings to music creatives grew by more than 90%, according to a recent report by the company. So they've continued to expand their geographic scope as well, to serve its clients in 14 countries, and it works with more than 130 payers across 3 continents. And they've got a whole international network of representatives who know their region's music professionals. So it sounds like by making sure that they were where their customers were, they've been able to do a great job at making sure people get paid. And that's always a good thing, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, money isn't everything, but money helps pay the bills, that's for sure, and helps you do some other things. So, like, hey, it's significant.
Yeah. So it just shows you how much of a need is there. So, a lot of times people have a hard time trying to get their paperwork in order to make sure they get royalties. So, in cases like that, it's kind of cool to outsource. So, hey, at least they're getting people paid.
Yeah. Well, and on the other end of the spectrum, there's nothing worse than doing the background work and the work behind the scenes and then not get paid. Okay, that's a terrible thing. So with this, yeah, they're getting their income, and that's a great thing.
Yes. All right, and this is a really cool story, but a small business owner decided to donate thousands of dollars for a recording studio at a Philadelphia school. So teachers at Thomas Edison High School had requested help to create basically a professional audiovisual studio. And so business owner Sang Kyu Na, I hope I pronounced that correctly, donated $11,000. So that was enough money that they needed to buy all the equipment to build the new studio. So, that's a really, really cool thing that he did. So when he's getting some publicity for being able to do that, and also helping keep music in schools, which is something that we definitely need to keep going. So, you see stuff like this, it can kind of give you ideas, maybe some fundraising opportunities that you could do to help a cause that you like, to kind of help you get some exposure while doing some good in the world. So, free game right there.
Yeah. That trend for about the past decade of different school systems around the country, city systems, county systems, whatever, cutting back, making cutbacks on music and the arts, and in a lot of cases, the sports as well. And the funding hasn't been there. And, so when we were younger, we had the benefit of that. And a lot of the kids these days, younger folks, they don't have the benefit of that.
Right.
Okay, so shout outs to this gentleman for doing that. And we can only hope that other small business owners do that as well as big corporations. And so, yeah, that's a positive light in the middle of the dark.
Yes. And music companies have decided to hit internet service operator Altus USA with $1 billion copyright infringement suit. So this includes BMG, Universal Music, Capitol Records, and Concord Music Group. There are some others included, but those are the main names that most people would recognize. And they're suing for millions for quote unquote alleged infringements of thousands of their songs. So we've seen the major labels kind of go at service providers before. And so this will probably turn out the same way in favor of the music industry, because they're basically saying that the company knows that people are using their service to pirate stuff, and they're actually providing them the extra bandwidth to be able to do it. So, we'll see how this turns out. But my guess is it's going to go in favor of the big labels that have brought the complaint. What do you think?
Yeah, well, it's a iffy, and but I'm inclined to agree with you on your feelings on how that's going to turn out. Hey, you never know, so we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we do. All right, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with more music industry news right after this. back with more music industry news. Just in case anybody's looking for any opportunities or you know any Black Americana artists, WXPN is looking for 5 for a week-long Black Opry residency. And so this is going to take place in Philadelphia sometime in March. It includes mentorship opportunities, songwriting, studio sessions, interviews on the station, and a finale performance at World Cafe Live. And it's going to be streamed on NPR Music and XPN. So, if you know somebody that's interested, or if you are a Black Americana artist, it's a great opportunity to kind of take advantage of this. Applicants need to be 21 or older, have 3 years of performing and recording experience, and not be signed to a major or independent label. And then basically you'll just submit a link to either your Bandcamp, Apple Music, Spotify, some place where your music is online, and see if you get chosen. So great opportunity there.
Women in music, jump at this. I'll say that twice. Okay. When you got an opportunity. So jump at this.
Mm-hmm. All right. And Amazon has added ad-supported music videos as content to Fire TV. So supposedly they've got tens of thousands of ad-supported premium music videos from major and independent labels without signups, subscriptions, or fees. So with them making this available to more people, that's a great opportunity for you to work your connections and make sure that yours are included in the mix. Because if people are just streaming and watching music videos, why shouldn't you pop up in there too? So just something to be aware of, because we know how popular Fire TV sticks are. So yeah, just about, I don't know what the percentage is, but there are a lot of people that have them. So, hey, that's an opportunity for your music to be heard by more people if you take advantage of this.
Yeah. And look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, why not me? Mm-hmm. Hey, jump. You can do it. So, there it is.
Mm-hmm. All right, as Simon Cowell has joined other investors in the music TV streaming service called Roxy. So it's a London-based one that aims to offer a Spotify meets MTV type experience. And so they've also signed a deal to become available on Samsung smart TVs as they're expanding into the United States. So they say that they've got more than 1 million fans that have used their ad-supported free service or purchased it for £6.99 per month. So yeah, it's been in the UK and Ireland. And so now we get to get it here in the States. So I'm kind of excited to, see what that's all about. What do you think?
Yeah. The more the merrier. We sometimes get capsulized with just a few, chosen few to choose from. And hey, something on the outside. Oh yeah, let's the more the merrier. Like I say, let's partake of that and see what's out. See what's going on with it.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of which, another one, Audio Up, has raised another $10 million, and they're going to use their money to increase their intellectual property and expand their music business. And so one of the things that they're working on is trying to strengthen their vertical integration strategy by building new studios and post-production facilities in Nashville. And so, they've already invested in some intellectual property recently. So apparently they're going to ramp that up with that extra $10 million boost that they just got. So, just like you said, it's new stuff popping up all the time. So it's really, really great to have options, because that means that the quality usually goes up with services like this. So I'm excited to see what comes forth from Audio Up as well.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited as well.
All right, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with our special guest, Christen Eve, right after this.
Breezy Gipson from the Breeze team. How would you like to see an online platform that brings you people who already indicated that they're interested in your particular type of business? Whether it's your music you're selling, hip-hop clothing, you got a restaurant or a cafe, or if you're an entrepreneur or agent for a business. Visit me at breeze2cheese.com. That's using the number 2, breeze2cheese.com, or click my bio link on my Instagram profile to see a live demo of how this can help you get more customers and make more money.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen. Thank you so much for joining us today for Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. We are excited, thrilled, and delighted to let you know that we have with us in our virtual building today, Christen Eve. How are you doing? And thank you so much for joining us.
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk with both of you.
Yeah. So, if you can, just give everybody a little bit of your background, like what kind of shaped you and got you into music and developed your love for it.
So I grew up in the Philippines, and the culture there absolutely loves music and expression through music, and that's where I fell in love with music. That's where I started to play guitar and write music at 13 years old, and ever since then, it's just been the one thing in my life that's never left me. It's helped me navigate, so many ups and downs in my life. And that's truly just how I express myself.
Man, what a beautiful opening, wouldn't you say, Breezy?
Yeah, see, we're already in the same pocket because at age 13, I was learning how to play guitar and I was developing.
Really?
Oh, yes. So, see, we're in the same pocket. We're definitely in the same.
I love that. Yeah, there's something I've heard so many people say that 13 is when they started learning guitar. There's something about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I know you're itching to ask a question. I'll go ahead and yield the floor to you.
Well, I mean, hey, that point right there is worth 40,000 points. Okay, so we're already winning with that. And so when you're young and you get involved with instrumentation, it takes you into a different world of your own, a world of absorbing, a world of learning. And so after doing that for from 13 to about age 15, you were really kind of set aside because you had a talent that you've been working on that some of the other folks that age, they didn't have. So did that make them gravitate towards you a bit more because of that talent that you
had? Yes and no. I feel like when something like that enters your life, for a lot of people like myself, it usually it comes from a place of for me, I had a lot of childhood trauma that happened to me. And now that I'm older, looking back, I can see that it's almost like my soul led me to falling in love with the guitar and writing music and singing and expressing myself through music so that I could build this safe little world where basically it was just me for a while. So I would say that it wasn't really more people gravitated towards me. It was more like for a while I was in my own little bubble, and that just helped me cope and get through some really tough times in my life. And now, I would say now in my adult years, yes, it's definitely starting to, it has started to bring people in and have people gravitate towards me and like-minded people, of course. But, in the beginning, it just felt like my own little, I hesitate to use the word isolated, but I guess that is kind of what it was. But it just kept me, safe for a while in that, and where I could learn how to navigate the hard emotions and events in my life through music.
Well, that was your safe zone. That was your safe zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of the Maya Angelou quote where she's talking about how music was where she could curl her back up to the loneliness. And I feel like a lot of artists, do kind of have something to pull from, like where they kind of need to escape to music. And
Absolutely.
so, with that being said, for you to embrace it like that, were there any specific people that maybe you turned on before you started picking up your guitar? Like maybe if you were feeling a certain way, anytime I hear such and such sing, I feel relieved or comfort. Any artists like that stick out?
Yes. Since I was a little girl, Celine Dion has been my woman. Like she's the top for me. Like she's my biggest, greatest idol. And she was, I would say out of any artist, I mean, there's so many, but she was the one who I'm watching her concert DVDs back to back, like 3-4 times in a day, sitting inches from the screen, just losing myself in her world and not just listening. I look back now and I see I was in a way studying her, because I wouldn't just listen to her sing. I would always watch how she talks to people in the crowd. Her concert DVDs, I would watch how she interacts with people. I would watch how she makes them feel seen and heard, and how she talks to the crowd and includes people, and how she treats people in interviews and stuff like that. My heart, I just remember being a little girl, just like absolutely adoring that and looking up to her, and just, it made me feel seen and heard. And so she was somebody that she just absolutely rocked my world. I love her to this day. But yeah, she definitely helped shape me as an artist and who I am now, and how I express myself, but also how I interact with others.
That's really
and I gotta throw this out there. See, if you actually can speak that into existence, where I know she just recently made an announcement about a week ago about her health and everything, but you can actually speak it into existence where somewhere down the road, you actually are going to be in the front row at one of her performances.
Oh, wow.
But you got to speak it into existence.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you can do that, and it will come to fruition.
Then we got to have you back on.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Then we got to have you back on so you can tell us all about it. And we'll say, hey, remember the first time you were on the show? Yeah, that's pretty interesting about what you said about how she talks to people and kind of draws you in. I know we've been connected on Instagram for some time now, but when I'm scrolling and I see your videos, you have that same quality, because there's a lot of content out there, but I'll stop and it feels like you're talking directly to me, not to some massive audience. So you actually possess that quality. Maybe that's why you were so drawn to it.
Wow. I mean, it feels nice to hear that, because sometimes you don't really, obviously I'm not experiencing myself as a third person. I'm just me. So, I forget that, I can have that effect on someone. So it's definitely like, it feels nice to know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is just, kind of an example of that. Weren't you drawn in instantly as soon as she started with her story, Breezy?
Absolutely. It didn't take, it was like half a second, I was there. That's what I'm saying. We were in the same pocket because of what I was hearing and the way I was hearing it. Okay, so yeah. Shouts out to you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So anybody that's listening right now, what would you tell them that you want them to gain from listening to you? So, let's say we've got somebody out there that's like, oh, I can't wait to go check her out. I want to hear, what she sounds like. What do you want them to walk away from listening to you for that first time?
I would say just know that it hasn't been overnight for me to get to where I am today. And the one thing I would say that tops everything that I want to give to people through my music, my voice, my expression, is not feeling alone in whatever they're going through. I have been through so many events in my life where I was alone, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and literally, you know, on the floor alone and thinking, man, I wish so bad that there was somebody on the floor going through this with me right now and we could just talk and whatever. And every time I would go through those moments, I would always say, I vow to myself that when I am finally in a place in my life where I can sing and release my songs and talk to other people and share my music, I vow to myself to do everything I possibly can for them to get to have that feeling of that someone's, you know, on the floor, sitting with them in their pain, not trying to rip them out of it, but just actually being there in that moment with them. And so that is my greatest hope, that when people hear me sing, or they hear my lyrics, or they hear me share anything, that's that feeling they get, that space of just togetherness. And I'm not trying to make you be different in this moment. I'm not trying to make it better. I'm not trying to come in and rescue you. I'm just actually here sitting in your pain or whatever it is you're going through. And that's enough. Just being with you in it.
Whoa. I have never heard a response to that question so deeply impactful and thoughtful, and wow, that is incredible. I'm speechless. I don't even have anything after that. What about you, Breezy?
Well,
Man.
you know, in some of my outside participations, you know, there's a lot going on in society these days, in civilization these days, and you know, now I'm hearing, you know, there's certain roles of being spokesperson, spokeswoman, spokesman, because there's a lot of young people who, you know, at certain ages, they're like sponges. Okay, they absorb everything that comes along. And so, you know, words of wisdom, words of experience, words of gratefulness, words of achievement, you know, words of goodness. You know, there's a lot of young folks and older ones too that will absorb your words in a really, really positive way. So, you know, that statement you just made, you know, take it to the heart, to take it to another level, you know, level up with that, along with, you know, your music and other things, you know, and then outside of the music, you know, there's some avenues that statement that you just made can be used to help a lot of folks. Okay, so you know, always, you know, keep that in your realm, you know, while you're dealing with the music, because there's a lot of folks that you can help pull them up, you know, out of the muck and mire, and you just never know. So keep that in your sweet spot.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that it's a really, really important to have a mission behind what you do, because that's what helps break through the noise. You know, you can always tell when there's an artist that does it just for the attention, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But with your desire to actually, you know, give value, not just showing off that you've got talent, but, you know, for somebody to actually get something for it, you know, that's so incredible. It's a great quality to have in these days. That we're seeing more and more people who don't really care about it, but, you know, putting their heart and soul into it. So yeah, kudos to you for sticking to that.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, I agree. And I think having that too helps you have your strong why. You know, why am I doing this? Why do I keep going? You know, in the times that you feel like you're burning out, it can help you get back to the drawing board and be like, well, you know, this is my why. This is why I'm going to keep going. This is why this is important to me. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, next question. I know Celine Dion would be at the top of this list, but if you could collaborate with any artist, past,
wow.
present, whatever the case may be, who else would it be next to her, I should say?
My goodness. That is such a hard question. Oh man, I don't even know how to answer that. There's so many incredible artists. I know for sure, because I'm a songwriter. I've been a songwriter since I was 13. I absolutely have the greatest respect for songwriters, and I feel like I know how to spot really great songwriters as well. And so Tracy Chapman is one of my all-time favorite songwriters. I mean, the lyrics, when I listen to, oh my goodness, it just absolutely moves me. And so even if it wasn't like performing or singing, just a songwriting collaboration, it would just rock my world.
Wow. Man, yeah, you came out with a heavy hitter with that one.
Yeah, well, like the song Cold Feet, when I listen to that song, I'm just like, oh my God, like the lyrics in this, it's just, I feel like there's not really many songs out there like that. Like lyrically, it's just like, whoa.
Yeah. I think songwriting is kind of getting its just due now, I guess, with some of these people taking it a little bit more seriously as far as making sure that we get the proper royalties. But man, it's something that's really underrated. And you can tell when you look at some lyrics of some of mainstream pop music, and it'll be like 13 collaborators on a song that says the same thing like 20 times.
I agree with you on that. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just kind of interesting. It's like, okay, yeah, people, this might be kind of a lost art. But how would you say you feel about your growth from starting at such an early age up till now, like rating your songs from back then to what you're doing today?
I think my growth has been a lot, just because I've stuck with it. I feel like I'm a big believer in, you may have like 30 not so great songs when you started out, but you had to go through writing those songs in order to get to where you are now. You cannot become just this incredible songwriter without having, this long path behind you of songs that were maybe kind of embarrassing or not so great. I mean, you get to where you are by continuing to just shape yourself and polish it up. And so for me, I've been writing for over a decade now. And so I feel like I've grown a lot in my songwriting just because I've stuck with it, and also because it's been the one thing I've used to help me process so many emotions and events in my life and help me navigate them. And so out of every type of way I could cope in my life, songwriting has been the one thing I've turned to every single time. And so I think that is what's helped me so much become the songwriter that I am today.
Wow. That's really incredible. I know, Breezy, I can see those thoughts going as your head's nodding.
Well, I've kind of got an A-B question. A-B, all right. Part A, share with our listeners where they can find you, follow you, purchase from you, and all of that. And then part B, as we're coming on the precipice of a brand new year, share with our listeners what you look for this new year. What kind of new horizons do you expect or plan this new year to bring for you? So A first, then B second. So
you can find me on, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, basically anywhere, any social media, but also like, Spotify, iTunes, Christen Eve. So that's ChristenEve. That's my name. But then, so for the new year, I am currently, just starting to finish rebuilding my studio. Last year, I actually had a really traumatic event that caused me to lose all my belongings. And so that was a really hard thing for me as an independent artist, because it's already hard enough road. And so I having to start from scratch again, it just felt absolutely hopeless. But it hasn't been hopeless, and I've been able to rebuild again. And so I'm right on the cusp of getting that finished and moving into the new year of being able to record and start releasing my music again, so that people can actually start to get to know me as an artist. I feel, because of these events that have happened in my life that have held me back from being able to, get this stuff out, I felt a deep frustration, because I was like, man, I feel like I have this giant portfolio, in a sense of like who I am, my songwriting over how many years, but I just haven't been able to share it with people and in the way that I wanted. And so that's really what I look forward to in this new year, is just rebuilding and being able to share who I truly am, and all of these songs that I really truly feel can help so many people.
Wow. Well, speaking things into existence, since we mentioned having you back, hopefully you'll be willing to join us again, because
of course,
I feel like this is just the first of many rounds.
I would love it.
Yeah, it's been really great talking to you. You've shared so much wisdom that I know we've benefited from, our listeners will benefit from. And we really appreciate you for that. And I can't wait to have you back.
Thank you. I mean, that makes me excited, and I've enjoyed talking with both of you. It's so refreshing to talk to like-minded people, and just be able to talk about just the joy and passion and love of music. It's been great.
Awesome. Okay, with that, I'll let Breezy close us out.
Well, this is a level up day. Okay, you're helping a lot of people to level up, including us. And so, I gotta shout out to you. I gotta do a literal shout out. Christen's in the house, y'all. Okay, so anyway, we're looking for some conversation with you in the not too distant future about what you're doing, or what has happened, or what's transpiring on the good side. So let's keep doing what you're doing, and we thank you immensely for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share, to educate our listeners, and educate us as well. So kudos.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, and that does it for this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. Once again, we thank you for joining us. A super huge thank you to our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado. And I mean, it's just been a blast. I've had a great time. How about you?
Yes. There's so much going on. We've had some curves in the road and everything that we've overcome. And I tell you what, I'm just looking forward to continuing upward and onward into some great things. So, I'm on the positive tip, and I'm really happy about it.
Yes, absolutely. And so, we can't wait to see you again next time. So what it'll be New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. But you know where to find us. Tune in, tell a friend. We'll see you then. Peace.